Welcome to In the Hot Seats, Bedford Public Library's version of Hot Ones, the internet show where guests come on and we ask them hot questions and eat hot wings. So we're excited to have, this is the very first one we are doing. We're excited to have everybody out. Before we get the party started, I do want to give a couple thanks. So thanks to StoneGate for letting us use this building. The wings that you see here were provided by Buffalo Wings and Rings, so big thanks to them. And then a thank you to the library staff who helped. So Taylor over here, Allison, who's doing the marketing for all of the programs, and Faye, who's doing the sound. So a big thanks, and just kind of want to go over just a little bit of housekeeping. So this, while we do have public officials here, this is not a public forum, so we won't have any kind of open public discussion or anything. We're just here for kind of entertainment. I'll be asking the questions, and hopefully we'll have some fun. And we will be recording this, so it's not live streamed, but it is recording on these 3 cameras right here. It will be into post-production and then posted online in about a couple weeks. So look for that. Look for it on the Bedford Public Library's social media. If you haven't added us on Facebook or Instagram, please do so. Well, without further ado, let's go ahead and get this started. I want to thank our guests. So we have Bob Cline, Judge Bob Cline. We have Prosecutor Sam Arp.
Hello.
Deputy Prosecutor Justin Grant, and Chief Public Defender Tim Sledd. Excited to talk about criminal court today. So this is kind of our version of getting people involved, like adults involved in civics. So how can we make learning about the government fun? Let's talk about it while we're eating hot wings and burning ourselves up. So we can go ahead and get started on the first wing. You guys ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, so this wing is the classic. It's garlic Fresno. It's Fresno chilies is the predominant pepper in this. And it's 1,700 Scoville units, or it's 2 out of 10 chili peppers. What do you think?
I think it's wonderful.
Good?
Yep.
Okay. Since we're talking about wings and food, my first question is actually pretty mild. What is your favorite place to eat locally?
My office. No. First of all, the ladies in my office are excellent cooks. I mean, just everything is just phenomenal. If I have to pick a place, Mexican. Any Mexican is my thing. I mean, you're hard to go wrong with Mexican.
I thought for sure you would have said farmer's market.
Well, that's yes.
Likes the bacon sandwiches from there.
Yes, they are good.
What about you, Sam?
So I like to eat around. We pride ourselves in going to different places for lunch here in town. We hit everybody up, but I would say that the office would probably eat the most at Lucky's and Smoking Gems.
Okay.
And then if we're in a breakfast mood, a lot of the people like to go to Even Strings.
I would say, since I typically go to lunch with him, I would have to parrot those. But I'm also a fan of Las Cosuelas, kind of Casa Brava, and of course Wings and Rings is always good, or Buffalo Wings and Rings is always good too. So.
And just because they donated the wings, you're under no obligation to say that it's them.
None at all.
Well, we can go ahead and start the second one. So this is Seeing Double. It is a jalapeno sauce. So it's 6,200 Scoville heat units, or 2 out of 10 chili peppers.
Hold it upon you, wouldn't it?
No.
All right.
I'm gonna wait till you fall over and I'll catch up.
Thoughts?
I didn't even really taste it.
Really?
Yep.
Couldn't really taste much.
Justin, since you came on as the ringer, I'm sorry, you got to pick up where he left off.
No, that's fine.
Tim, thoughts?
It's pretty good.
Okay. So, I have an individual question for each of you for this round. So if we could start with Bob. Bob, you're a man of many talents. But I know that you're really interested in making knives. So could you share a little bit about that with us?
Okay, well, I'm not a knife maker. I make knives whenever I need knives or to give them away, which I donate I donate them to silent auctions and things like that. But I like making things with hot metal and coal and beating it till it looks like something. The real challenge, though, is you can make one of anything, but making two that look alike, that's where it gets difficult. So I do like making knives. I don't do the high layer Damascus. I tend to stick with low layer, 13 layers or so, and twist it. And then there are other things, I'll take and I'll see something and I think, this is hardenable steel. I'll make something out of it. And I like making my own hammers and tomahawks. I make a fair amount of tomahawks, but you can only have so many.
Yeah.
Which that number's probably 100. But no, I really enjoy it. But then I feel it because when you're forge welding stuff together, the metal splats, and I keep getting told to wear, I have a leather apron and everything, but I don't wear it, and then I have holes in all my shirts and wonder where they came from.
Awesome. Okay, so next, Sam, you were a state police officer. Could you tell me a little bit about that experience and how it shaped your career in criminal law?
It's as broad as it is long. I could probably pull from a lot of different examples. Administratively, how I valued from it with being a prosecutor was that I got to practice in several counties throughout the state, especially in southern Indiana. So I got to see things that different prosecutors did, different judges, how they handled court, and was able to pick a little bit of their personalities and apply it to what I wanted to do here in Lawrence County when it came time to do that. I think it was just a good experience all around for that. And probably most importantly, we deal with a lot of bad things in prosecution, and it gave me experience in how to compartmentalize that in my mind and how to be able to handle and be healthy physically or mentally with handling such situations.
Okay. Thank you. So the next one is for Justin. Justin, I heard you have a samurai suit in your living room. Can you confirm or deny that, and also let us know why?
I can confirm it is a full suit of armor from 1600 to 1625. It was no later than 1625. It is a full suit. It sits in my dining room in a case. And I collect Japanese memorabilia, samurai memorabilia from around the 13th century. I think my youngest item I have is probably early 18th century. And so that has been a passion of mine since I can remember. And I've spent a life curating the best of the best that I can afford over the past 40 some odd years. So I do. I've collaborated with books on the material for the National Museum in Tokyo, as well as other authors and across the globe as they write on these materials. So it's been a passion.
Very good. You guys ready for another wing?
Absolutely.
Let's do this thing.
This one looks a little nasty. It's got red flakes
So
on
this
it.
is fermented kimchi. It is 3 out of 10 chili peppers. So this is Thai chilies at its 18,000 Scoville units.
Eat it all.
Oh, I'm saving this off. No, we're supposed to eat a bite. I thought we went over this. Is the rule that we eat it all?
You don't have to eat it all.
You should.
Listening to you is what got me in here in the first place.
I had to lie to him to get him in here, but I got him in here.
I think everybody lied to me because they said that you two were really excited about doing this. And I called you and you were like, I don't really eat hot stuff.
Yeah, it's probably a narrative derived from Bob originally.
Yes.
He's got this weird sense of humor where he likes to see me suffer.
Yep.
Still beating down just like the knives, right?
Yeah.
He's still forging you properly.
So, what y'all think about that one?
Yeah.
I couldn't really taste it.
Yeah.
I liked it better than I thought I would because kimchi's not my jam.
Yeah.
Fortunately, that was bleeding enough. There was more heat to that one.
Yeah.
Is it kimchi just like something that's rotten in the ground?
Well, it's cabbage. It's a fermenting, not a rotting.
Traditional methods.
That's a difference without a distinction. So.
Okay. So, for the third question, what is something you learned as a child that you continue to carry with you today?
Oh my. You know, the older I get, the more I find myself channeling Bill Cline, who was my dad, who grew up in the Depression. True story, if I can digress a little bit. My cousin is Dan Bortner.
Oh.
When my dad came home from World War II, every man that tried to date my dad's sister, my dad would thump them. Just beat the crap out of them, pardon the language. But Dan's dad wanted to date my dad's sister, so he went to my dad and said, look, I want to date your sister, but I don't want to get beat up. And they were friends the rest of my dad's life. So, yeah. And he didn't beat him up. But my dad was a child of the Depression and didn't finish the 8th grade. And so I would see, he would have a book, and it was a book on history or a book on something, and he was constantly reading to learn things. And that is really something important that I took away is, you know, here was my dad who really was focused on education, but he didn't finish the 8th grade himself, and he really read, and mostly about history, I think. But that's my takeaway. Read as much as you can. That is the source to knowledge and success.
I like to hear that as a librarian.
Fun fact about the Clines, did you know that Bob Cline has an extremely long neck for being a Cline?
Yes, I do. My dad's head sat directly on his shoulders, so.
As opposed to yours. What I learned as a child. So I grew up pretty poor, and nobody in my family had been to college or anything like that. It just seemed like everything was always against me growing up, and what I learned was that if you keep fighting, keep setting goals, and never give up, there's always a way out of it. So really your only limitations in life are the limitations that you put on yourself.
You know, I think my dad knew the Clines only because the advice that I still keep today is never fight a guy named No Neck. So I think I'm just going to live with that one right there.
Two things that I learned when I was a child that stick with me. I repeat them to myself all the time. Is one of my football coaches used to always say, "Do it right, do it light, do it wrong, do it long." So anytime you've got the chance to do something, choose to do it the correct way, choose to do it the thorough way, take the time, do it right. You won't have to do it again, but if you take a shortcut, try to find some way to cut a corner, you're probably gonna have to fix it. You're probably gonna have to do it again. I carry that with me in my law practice quite a bit. And then the other one, one of my first bosses when I worked at Dairy Queen in high school, told me on a Saturday morning, go fill the mustard containers that were out on the tables. So I took one of the 1.5 gallon tubs with me and a spatula, and I started filling the mustard containers, and I got to what I thought was the end of the 1.5 gallon jar, and I screwed the lid back on it. I went back to do a 3-point shot into a trash can, and he intercepted it with his great big hands and said, "Do you like stealing from me?" And I was a little frightened because I'd eaten lots of ice cream that I hadn't paid for since working there. I thought that's what he was referencing. but it wasn't. He took out the spatula and he pulled a whole nother container of mustard out of the jar, or out of the tub to put in a mustard jar. And he says, you've always got to scrape the jar. And so I try to be as efficient with my consumption as possible.
Very good. Ready for this fourth wing?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So
Here we get ice cream soon.
this is Los Calientes Barbacoa. You have to wait for the ice cream. It's after the fifth one. 33,000 Scoville heat units. So this is a red jalapeno pepper. It's barbacoa flavor.
Tasty.
This is good.
See? You make it further than you thought.
Jinx me.
Okay.
Weird thinking that people are watching you eat.
I like this one a lot.
It's disconcerting.
Wonderful.
How you doing, Sam?
They set these up like this to give you false confidence. Just to let you know. So,
Now, if I'm thirsty and I drink water, does that mean I'm weak or do I have
Yes.
to wait?
Yes,
All
it
right,
does.
I'll remember that in a minute when you're crying.
you do, from my end of the table, you do whatever you do.
Peer pressure.
No. I get a feeling that you all are pretty competitive. So, could you describe your first day in court in your current position? I know that you've held multiple positions that put you in court, but in your current position, what was your first day of court like?
For me, it was boring because I had been chief deputy prosecutor, so on almost everything, I was conflicted out. So Judge Sleva did the whole thing. I just sat there and looked pretty.
A lot of laughter from the peanut gallery there, Bob.
I'll adjust and answer you. since
Okay.
I'm here.
Yeah, no, my first day in this job, I was actually doing, I do juvenile delinquency now, but prior to that, I was in the adult court, and I was in Judge Plummer's court, and he hit me with a question I wasn't prepared for because it was my first day on the job, my first case, and he told me he would wait. And so we, embarrassingly quiet, the whole courtroom waited for me to figure out what he wanted from me. And I learned from that day forward, you don't know everything walking in that room, you better have somebody with you that does. But it was an uncomfortable 10 or 15 minutes for me to catch up to pick up what he was putting down, so to speak. So, but I've learned since. But it's scary the first day you walk in on that job and they expect you to know everything soup to nuts.
Oh, I bet. Huh. Tim, what about you?
So my first day back as chief public defender was a lot of fun because I had come from private practice where I had a handful of cases. I might have had, 10 total criminal cases in my whole filing cabinet and then a bunch of family law cases. And immediately I had 30 or 40 cases right away. And I think my first day in Judge Cline's court, I had 12 or 14 hearings that day, and so it was fast-paced, and I love it. I specifically like practicing in Judge Cline's court because it's a rapid-fire court. He expects efficiency. We got to be prepared. We got to know our cases, know where we're at, be able to satisfy his time frames. So there's a real quick pace to it, and I love that. It's a lot of fun.
Judge Cline, do you get to, does each judge kind of set out how their courtroom kind of functions?
Yes, and then also realize that my court, like for example, Superior Court 2 does traffic, drugs, OWI, and small claims. Those in and of themselves lend themselves to the rapid pace, whereas like Judge Plummer, he has domestic violence. That's not a fast-paced thing. You have to slow down, and it's very methodical. So, so that's really what it is. It's each judge, but it's also what you're dealing with.
Okay. Very good. Wing 5, last on the small plate.
keeping us away from ice cream.
Yep. So this is called the Fat Cat Chairman Meow's Revenge. This is a scorpion pepper sauce. So it's 5 out of 10 chili peppers, and it's 54,000 Scoville heat units.
Sam's beginning to wonder if you put any sauce on his. He's feeling good right now.
You can smell the sauce coming out of the elevator. So it's a false confidence.
I'm proud of Sam. I didn't think he'd make it to 5, so.
He wants the ice cream.
So for question 5, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to do something I call Explain That Post. So we have a social media post up here from one of you from 2021. And this is from Sam. And he says, looks like a certain someone doesn't get to park in their favorite spot today. And there is a Mercedes that says, Bob, if you're not first, you're last. Do you want to explain that?
Yeah, so first of all, I'm aware of the grammatical errors, and that was supposed to be on purpose, but nobody took it that way. It's it's a line for Ricky Bobby, right? So Bob is insanely competitive to a point that it drives you crazy. And when we first started taking office, it was a little archaic because everything was pencil and paper, and we were both of the digital mindset. And I think the first couple of days after the initial getting there after midnight, was it 5:30, and then you doing the thing that you do where you've always got to do one up, one better. I think I cut the line off at 4 o'clock, and he's very habitual. He likes to park in the same spot. He likes to eat the same meals. He likes to wear the same outfits on certain days. So I would get to work early, beat him, and then I would always taunt him. So that was me taunting him for taking his parking spot that day. That's where he would park at. Now that's and that's my daughter's car, so I was driving that for whatever reason. But it's just the way we're always feeding off of each other. We were competitive. Me and Tim are competitive in a different way, and it's just when you get in our environment, it's a really we all want to win. We're all crazily driven, or we wouldn't be in the positions that we're in. So there's a there's a lot of things that go on behind closed scenes. All right.
Bob, you have any rebuttal?
He beat me in one time.
There we go.
In 2 years. But yes, I'm always taking note of whose vehicles are there, who's not there, and then I also point out to many people, Mr. Sledd included, that I didn't see him in the office Saturday. But he points out validly that he's got a computer. So,
And Wi-Fi at my house.
there you go.
Well, as early as you get there, I bet nobody beats Keith Fish.
No, and I have a post about that. I think one time I beat
Thank you
Keith,
very much.
and it was like just a fluke. I was getting called out in a search warrant on like a murder scene or something like that. And, so Keith, I believe, gets in there about 3:45, 4 o'clock every morning.
Yep.
And he always stays late too. The guy's a machine.
Yep. Yeah, I grew up with his son Adam,
Yeah,
and I
same
remember.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think if you stroll back long enough, I'm always commenting about how I never get to beat him.
No. No. All right. Well, let's move on to ice cream. Yeah, ice cream's coming out. Onima. So this.
Does that not mean you're weak?
Number
if you eat ice
6
cream?
is Onima. It is 6 out of 10 chili peppers, 71,000 Scoville units, and it's a habanero sauce.
Smell it before you eat it, Sam.
Nope.
It is also
Big nose on
one of the only hot sauces to come from Spain. Just a little fun fact.
Oh, Sam, this one's got heat.
How's the heat on that?
Sneaks up on you. You don't taste it at first, and then it starts kicking you in the back of the throat.
That's tasty.
Justin, he's doing better than he said he was going to do.
I'm impressed with him. I'm not going to.
You got the little peg legs, and I got wings.
I can.
You also
I guarantee you the system wasn't rigged.
You also have forehead sweat going on right now, too.
Do I?
Glistening.
I think
Okay.
the last four, we need to
sorry,
dip them
6
extra sauce. And the last four, they should be dipped in extra sauce.
Okay.
You can just shut up.
So name one life lesson that you've learned that you'd like to share with somebody, or like to share with everybody.
Be willing. I've been many different places in the military, but if you're willing to do stuff, people will let you do stuff, and always push your comfort zone. Be willing to step out there, and because that's the only way you can improve yourself. You stretch yourself, and so yeah, be willing.
It was
Life lesson.
name a life lesson you learned that you'd like to share with everyone.
Never trust a guy with 3 first names. I don't know that kind of I would say just be in a constant state of improvement. I mean, don't be afraid to, whether you win or lose, to look at yourself and point out what you could have done better, how you could be better. Don't beat yourself up over it, but just be willing to just constantly be changing and be fluid. I think Bruce Lee used to have a thing about being fluid, right, to the situation. So, I'm constantly reevaluating what I've done, what I'm doing, where I'm going, and don't let your grass grow underneath your feet. You got anything better than that to add to that?
Yeah, don't buy a car that has more than 7 colors.
All right. That's a condo bill, though, right? Yeah. You pick that up at an auction for $300 and brag about it. So Bob's so tight that his jaw creaks when he talks. And you would think a guy that's got a farm that he's got and a nice little salary that he would drive a car that was worth more than $300. But no, he'll go to an auction over in Washington and buy the biggest jalopy. And it's a wonder he doesn't die every day he gets into work.
Well, he was commenting the other day that it was like turning 300,000, and he kept the title in the glove box so that the junker could just take it with them when it quit on the road.
Because it's going to break down, and I'm just going to sign the title, tell the record driver to take it to the recycler. But yeah, I don't see any reason to make a car payment.
Yeah.
I think my lips are burning on that one. Yeah.
Fire that.
Yeah.
It's lingering.
I thought you looked like a Kardashian here in a minute.
That's what I mean. Get duck lips going.
These are, this plate is not Bush League, I can tell you that. Tim?
Yeah, so life lesson, I tend to be meeting with lots of people who are at a low point in their life. And there's a Bible passage that I live by that I share with a lot of people, is that our struggles build our endurance gives us confidence, our confidence gives us character. And our character and our confidence are made on the fact that there's hope because God loves us. That's Romans 5:3-5. And I think that that's hopefully an adjustment to people's perspective. When they're in a bad situation, it's not the end. And it kind of goes with what Sam was saying. You just got to want to persevere. You got to push through. You got to seek to improve and know that you've lived through 100% of your bad days thus far. Keep pushing forward. Let that surviving that bad day be the confidence that you have that you'll make it through the next. And for a purpose, of course, if you're somebody that has a faith, that can be your faith system, but it can be secular too. It can just be the fact that you're built to survive, so push.
Okay. Awesome.
My lips are burning bad.
Okay. Wing 7.
Let's go.
7.
So this is red flag. It's red flag. Red flag. It is 126,000 Scoville units, or it's 7 out of 10 on the chili pepper scale. This is a scorpion pepper sauce.
How many Schofields is emergency room?
2 minutes.
All right.
That tastes good.
Doing okay.
Oh, yeah. Just wondering if we're going to ever get something hot. I'm just happy because I know he's miserable.
I told you he's sick, man. He's got a problem.
I'm starting to see the competition for sure.
So you just scoop your ice cream.
Yeah, you just scoop my
It'll help.
It's pretty good right now. Like I'm gargling gravel that's dipped in acid.
For being
You look like you're getting ready to pass out. Oh, no, I'm fine.
for being in criminal court as long as you all have been, I'm sure you have had to have experienced some cases that just kind of live with you. So what is the oddest or wildest case you've ever been involved in?
Shoot, buddy.
Oh,
There
There is ice cream, right? Like there's ice cream, there's milk, there's.
Yeah.
Put
I'm
out.
waiting for No Neck to take some first.
that's not going to happen. You know, there's been so many over the years because I started in 2002. As far as media attention, when Jill Behrman was murdered, I prosecuted that murder. And that brings a whole bit of chaos and the news media and literally every crazy comes out for that. And then you're amazed sometimes of theft cases from charities and how much money will flow through a charity. Yeah. Oh my, that just hit me.
There's ice cream there, Bob.
Yeah. So,
Looks like it's melting.
yeah, I know, it looks good.
Just the proximity to the heat.
Yeah, it's every day was something different and something amazing. And that's the great thing about this job. You're dealing with human beings. And the yeah, you're dealing with human beings. Next.
Sounds a little weak. So the wildest thing, I don't know, here recently, what has it been, a couple years ago, the guy tried to blow me up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was prosecuting a case with co-defendants, and I get a call from ATF and Bloomington Police Department, and they advised me that there was a 5-pound bomb. They had to detonate it in the parking lot, and they were coming to kill me. And they also had a AR-15 that they'd put a silencer on, and it was because I was prosecuting them and taking a hard stance on it. And that part was kind of bad, but then they found pictures of my wife on the phone, and that was probably the most upsetting part of it. So I have to say that was probably the case I remember the most, and the case that did the most, made me rethink a lot of things.
Okay.
That went dark real quick, didn't it?
Yeah, man. Should have saved that question for last. Justin, what about you?
I guess the thing that I find that I focus is almost exclusively now on juvenile crime, and I guess just the interrelatedness of all of the things that happen. It's amazing the tree that sprouts from behavior and how it crosses boundaries and people, and those are the things that just weird is that you'll find, just how connected a lot of these things happen to be. And it's just weird for me watching how, as somebody that didn't grow up, I was lucky I didn't get caught. They probably just didn't have enough officers on the street. But, it's how interconnected a lot of those cases are. And it just boggles my mind, But nothing as fancy as somebody trying to kill me. They kick my fence down quite often. I have a couple of the youth that are angry with me.
Because you take their soccer ball.
Yeah, there's that. But yeah, they kick my fence pickets in or my fence posts down and stuff like that. But no one's ever tried to blow me up yet. So
Stick with me, kid.
We'll get you there.
Tim.
It's a question I can't answer.
Okay. Well, this next one.
Oh, this is the one you warned us about. The bomb.
The bomb.
So the next one is the bomb, Beyond Insanity. So it is 8 out of 10 chili peppers. It is 135,000 Scoville units, and it's a habanero and many other pepper
I'm
sauce.
waiting to see if he dies first. There you go. All right.
Problem is, you're only eating part of it.
It doesn't
Well,
get
quit being
easier.
a fatty.
Man up.
Man, that instantly kicked me in the mouth.
Yeah.
Did I lose any teeth? Oh, jeez.
Tastes like
Jeez, oh, criminy.
tastes
Justin,
tastes like
try this.
I'll take a piece of his.
Oh.
With that heat sauce on it, none of his germs are going to get me.
This is where we all die.
Oh, no, that's good.
I'm getting the ice cream.
Wait, yours is over there. It's mine.
I'm gonna put my hand in it.
That's good. That was good.
What's wrong with you?
I'll get back.
You know, oxygen seems to bother it, so as long as I don't breathe, I'm okay.
That's good.
It
Oh
builds.
God, it gets worse.
It builds.
Sugar honey iced tea. I promised myself I wasn't gonna try.
Okay.
Who does this through the sofa?
Try to ask questions over here.
salivating badly.
So this kind of goes head to head with the question that I asked you, but what case made the biggest impact on you? And Sam, I'm sure that it's probably the same one, but if you want to,
God, I'm so glad I answered that last one first.
What was the question?
I think we're gonna need
That's a
more
good
ice
question.
cream.
what case made the biggest impact on you?
Beerman.
Go with the old one word answer on that one. Oh, just want to stop being mean.
That's it.
You gonna do all right, bud?
I'm gonna do all right.
I did get a little hot.
Oh, that was.
Still going.
Oh,
Yeah, it's sick that somebody made that.
yeah.
You guys are kind of messed up. Man, my eyes just watering a little bit.
Yeah, you ate a gallon of ice cream.
It's just, well, I don't think those guys are slowing down much. Bob's not. It just feels like I stuck my tongue in something metal and electrifying at the same time. Is that blood or?
Yeah.
I don't think we have any. Anybody else want to answer that? If they could talk.
I already answered it the last time.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm gonna
So I
make
prosecuted a case, and the
Now you can't be a prosecutor or public defender now. Don't cheat.
well, I was a prosecutor. Now I'm a public defender. It was a sad case, and the guy went to prison, and then I left and went back into private practice. Some 8 years later, the guy walks through the door, and I think, oh gosh, I remember him. What's going to happen here? And he stuck his hand out. He said, I want to shake your hand. I said, okay. He said, he goes, I hated you, I cussed you, and I remember him walking out of the courtroom that day cussing me. He said, I just despised you. He said, but when you walked out of that courtroom today, do you remember what happened? I said, nope. He goes, my mom was there. I said, yeah, I remember that. He goes, you sat down and you talked to her, and you told her what you thought and why you had to do that, and I prayed with her, and he said, she just died a few weeks ago, but she thought a lot of you, and that gave me peace, and will you help me do this, that, or the other, in a civil case that he had? And I did. So that case impacted me because, as Justin was saying, there's ramifications for our behaviors, and whether your behavior is bad or your behavior is good, it can ripple through people. So that case sticks with me. Number 8 sticking with me. Holy cow.
Yeah.
It's so angry.
Yeah. It stays.
Yeah.
No. That's what I was going to tell you at the beginning, but like before
No,
we
it's-
started. And then you all said, don't tell me anything about it. So.
I'm just
Do we have any more ice cream?
I'm just saying,
here.
Saturday
I
when
haven't
you wind up
touched
in
it.
jail, don't be surprised, all right?
You know,
Just go say like you didn't hear that.
it's over with. Anybody else?
So when
Justin,
he
you
winds
wanna-
up in jail Saturday and he didn't know why, just remember the number 8. I hate milk. It's
Go on.
disgusting.
Okay.
It's beautiful. This little
So, this is a pretty small community. Most people know most people. So, have you ever had to recuse yourself from a case? And if so, why? And how does that work?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, when I first came in, I was chief deputy prosecutor prior to becoming judge.
Shut up.
And so I was conflicted on those cases.
Try it. It's awesome. Are you still talking?
I am.
We have 2 more weeks to eat.
Oh, no, not me. I'll be eating all the ice cream we have, though. But then there's, if I have an
Mad
actual
scientist made the
conflict,
bomb. Jimmy
family
Fisher.
member, thing like that, and then a parent, like there's a case that I recused myself on involving the former county auditor. And I feel like I could have been fair and impartial, but I think the average person in the community might not believe that. And so to make sure that the justice system is transparent and people have faith in it, it was better that somebody that wasn't from Lawrence County be the judge on that case.
Yeah. Okay. So, we didn't start the 9th wing yet. So anybody who's still kind of in the round, this is Peppers Up. It's 700,000 Scoville units. It's an Apollo pepper sauce, and it's 9 out of 10 chili peppers.
Maximum effort.
Oh, you're dumb. There is no way.
That one tastes better.
The bomb is just nasty. It's gross.
I'm already going to be, in a lot of pain tomorrow, so, might as well just knock it out.
Justin, do you want these?
Yeah, give it
There, Justin.
You can have the wheat sauce plate.
So, Sam, do you want to answer that one?
Oh, what was the question?
Have you ever recused yourself from a case?
Oh,
and why?
yeah. So, it's there because if the public thinks that there's a sense of impropriety there. So if you have a police officer that's still working, a county official like an auditor, commissioner, or something like that. When I first started, I probably did a little bit more recusals, but the problem that I see with that as a prosecutor is that takes it totally out of my arena. I get blamed for all the decisions that are made, and you get on Facebook, and if the prosecutor that they picked that never talks to me after that does a horrible job or is a little weak with it, I still get blamed for it. So I figure if I'm going to get blamed for it, I might as well prosecute it. So I don't do it quite as often as I used to, but I have. And if you have a family member of somebody that works with you in the office, we work at the will of the public, and we want them to trust us and that everything's on the up and up.
Yeah.
So I feel to be a weak man.
What about you, Justin?
I've had to recuse myself from prosecuting cases because I also have a family law practice in town, and occasionally they'll come across, it's rare, they'll come across a case that I worked on that family for other purposes. And so for fairness and transparency, you find another prosecutor to do it.
And I have to bow out of certain cases if I represent a co-defendant. So that's happened a few times where I can't take certain cases because there's somebody that's adverse that's also a client of mine or a former client of mine, and I've learned something that I could use against them if I were up against them in a trial.
Okay.
you eat the extra ice cream?
I did.
You're such a bad person.
I'm proud of it.
We've got some more coming.
Okay.
Okay.
You don't get any more.
So
Ice cream's for winners.
Ricky Bobby.
this is the very last week, and this is the last dab. It's Pepper X. It's 2,693,000 Scoville heat units, and it's 11 out of 10 chili peppers. And so we don't traditionally do anything. This is the first time we've done this program. But what they do on the show is that for the last dab, they add an extra dab of sauce.
Your dab is massive.
So if anybody wants to do that, feel free.
I hate everything about this.
A little more.
That's what I see a put on show. We all agree? What are you putting on there?
Well, he
That's
put
a
on
dab.
Yeah,
That's a dab.
bunch.
I can't help it. He's stupid. No offense.
Oh, that's fine.
Honey, if anything happens, the will is in the safe.
All right.
Oh, man. Mistakes are being made.
Shall we?
You know, it's like being in junior high, like you're getting ready to do something with your buddies and you know it's wrong. And
Yeah.
you know you're going to have consequences. This is just one of those moments.
Shall we?
Let's go.
Are we supposed to dab it first? Is that what they do
No,
on the
I'm
show?
not dabbing.
All right.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, more ice cream. Sam doesn't want
More
his.
ice cream too?
Sure.
Okay, so the last question is, what is one thing you'd like people to know about the criminal court system?
Well, I think this is probably, well, I'm very sure it's across the board. We really want to work ourselves out of a job. Ideally, we want people to succeed. That's what keeps us going. It's not the people that get sent to prison or whatever. It's the people that you see them out and they're living a good life. You see them in Rural King, they're shopping, they have a family, they have a job, they can support themselves, they're happy. And there's ice cream right there. That's really what keeps us going in this job, because if you just focus on the bad parts that you deal with, like, over the years, murders, about every possible inhumanity thing that can happen to anybody. I'm telling you, ice cream.
What do you know? You had it for a couple.
Put it in the milk and make a milkshake. It's really good.
Why don't you try it and then give me advice?
Oh, no, I'm not done. But that's what I want people to know. We want people to succeed. Nothing makes us happier. Everything the vast majority of our time is spent really trying to do the very best job we can to help people succeed. Be it treatment, be it the mindset in this county of, if you're suspended, and you're suspended because you're bad with paperwork as opposed to being dangerous driver, we want you to get valid so you get insurance and can get to work, because you can't function in this county without a driver's license. And
My God, if you had a hot one, you wouldn't be talking so much.
I know. But see, now I'm feeling pretty good. I'm on my third bowl of ice cream.
Here, put this on his ice cream. Put that on your ice cream.
No. But that's what keeps us going. The success stories, the people that do well. We don't relish, I certainly don't relish sending people to prison. I had to send 2 today. But They were given every opportunity to succeed and chose not to. So that I don't enjoy that, but seeing people that are happy and I frequently tell people, I want you to be 80 years old, sitting on your front porch with a cup of coffee with the person you love, thinking, wow, I had a great life. That's what I want for them. And that's what
hurt so bad.
So, yeah. Can you talk?
My lips hurt really bad. So to add on to that, I always said that we could either hand you an olive branch or we can hand you a hammer. The choice is up to you. But he's covered everything else. I'm done talking.
I like what as I said, again, I work in the juveniles, and it's about rehabilitation and not incarceration. It's not punishment. It's how do we get it on the right side of the path. And, I've watched kids go from down a road that was probably going to end up in, Judge Cline's court to now they're off to college. And that's what motivates me. And, because kids need that chance, and sometimes society and the social and economic matters kind of collide to make their lives even more difficult. And so working with defense teams and trying to find solutions for these kids is what keeps me going.
How do you file a complaint with the Geneva Convention? Some of those chemicals cannot be illegal.
Tim, what about you?
Yeah, I think the criminal court system, by the time somebody finds themselves in it, it's sort of a daunting, scary situation, process. But it's one where if you follow the moniker, do it right, and you'll do it light. But if you do it wrong, you're going to do it long. There's going to be. I think that's one of the things that I would tell people about it. Is it goes along with what Judge Cline says. Is I really do think the system is designed to help people. Mm-hmm. I'm not so optimistic that it does, but it's designed to. And from defense lawyers, prosecutors, judges, all trying to structure an outcome of a case, the hope is that it will help people. But the people who are involved have to work. They have to do it right. And then, whatever the situation is, they've got to continue to persevere through their situation to try to find a better life through this. This can't be their identity. None of us want repeat customers. So I think that's what I would add.
Okay. Very good. Well, that's the last question. That's the last wing. Thank you so very much for coming out and trying this first one with us. So I have a couple things that I want to do before we wrap up. And I do want to say that on your way out, we do have a basket full of giveaways. We have auto decals, and we have stickers with our logo on them. We do have a self-help legal kiosk. Just let everybody know that at the library we house as far as I know, it's the only one in the county. And it is free. It is something that you can download a lot of, it's more family law, but you can download the forms. You can print them right there. You can fill them out, and you can actually scan them back in. And there is a tab, too, where you can virtual chat with somebody who's giving you free legal help, an attorney of some sorts through the state. It's through the Indiana Bar Association. That's how we have that. But yeah, if you're ever in need or know anybody in need, send them our way. And also, I already did plug the library social media once, but add us on Facebook or Instagram. We're doing all kinds of programs like this all the time. And I look forward to continuing this and doing In the Hot Seat with people from city government and county government as we get to know our guests. I think that, we got to see you all in a pretty humanizing state tonight, which is not necessarily how, especially with court, that you see people. So thank you so much for your help. This has been great. I've learned so much about you. feel like we're friends.
We are.
I don't want any more friends like you.
3 bowls of ice cream is some magic number.
No ice cream.
Now I'm going to
Some of
Jiffy
this.
Tree.
Well, thanks everybody for coming out.